right, stunts versus protections. You know, there's a lot of stunts that hurt certain different kinds of protections, but here's the number here. If you understand most protections, here's what they are. And I already drew up a gap scheme. I already drew this up, but I'm going to show you this right now. Okay? If you're a weak side sprint draw team, let's say you run the weak side sprint draw, okay? You're gonna take this guy, float, and take this guy, and do like that, all right? Okay. If they know you do that a lot, I can guarantee you this is something they're gonna run. If they know that you're a weak side sprint draw, so in other words, you got twins out here, or you got one single receiver side, and you're trying to throw the comeback with the fullback in the flat, or however you want to do it, they know this. He gaps, gaps. You release your tight end. They got two guys. You can block one of them, but you can't block the other one. Every time I see a weak side sprint draw team, I see that stunt. So if you're a weak side sprint draw team, you better know how to either stop that stunt, stop it, or, and I'll tell you how we do it. We're not even a weak side sprint draw team, but that stunt bothers us. If we get it, we don't want our quarterback sacked. So here's what happens. We get up there, we see this. Anytime our backside guard's got a bubble on him, on the backside of sprint draw protection, he says stay, stay. He stays here, he stays there, he stays there, and he stays there. We take the tight end out. He now is a check release off the sand, all right? Why? They can run that stunt, we got it picked up. We're not gapping away. It's a stay call, so we're just kind of manning up. You watch all of a sudden our protection. And normally you see these guys do like this on the backside. All of a sudden, now you see them all staying at the line of scrimmage. It's a stay call. Hey, why? Because we know that stunt can hurt us. And we don't want to get beat by that stunt. And if we make a stay call, basically what we're saying is, we're just basically manned up on the backside. All right, just manned up. So we can handle most anything they run. All right? All right. What's the number one protection? Let me ask you guys a question. I want to see how what's the number one protection? If you're getting, what hurts gap protection? Full gap protection. What hurts it? Anybody know?
Two guys in one gap.
Two guys in one gap, that's right. But the whole idea of gap protection is to what? Cut your splits down and do the same thing, is congested up so that you know there's no, like the same thing the defense does sometimes is they stack some people in there and get them in, so that make the running lanes tough. Well, the same thing we got to do on offense. We got to cut the splits down so they can't run through. But two guys through one gap is a good answer. But basically, this, the number one thing that hurts gap protection is two outside. It's two outside. Two outside the protection. So if I get up here like this, all right, and you got one back in the backfield, he gaps to here, he gaps to there, gap, 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 all right? And they go, okay, two outside. That hurts it. Frickin' Mike's free. He's free. Hurts. If they know you're exclusively a gap team, you're going to see two outside. The guy's a good defensive coordinator. You're going to see two outside. I watched Minnesota this year. They got sacked by Ohio State like 6 or 7 times. That was the stunt they did, and you know why? Because Ohio State knew that they were almost 80% a what team? Gap team. So that's not much of a chance call. All right. Now, how do you, as an offensive coordinator, keep people from knowing what to do against your protections? Anybody have the answer? How do you know what to do as an offensive coordinator to keep people from hurting your protections? Exactly. You have to have 3 or 4 protections. And I'm going to tell you something about 3 or 4 protections. You have to be able to gap protect, 5-step drop, and man or slide it, okay? Or zone it, you know, like big on big, Mike Backer. You have to be able to, or sprint draw it, 5-step drop. You have to be able to basically use 3 different types of protection on your 5-step drop. Now some of you guys drop 7-step, hey, I'm going to tell you this. I said this back in 1978. I had a quarterback coach tell me, that's a 7-step drop. He went, he's back here 10 yards. And I said, you know what? I can't get my tackle. Freaking protect it. I mean, this guy's not the most niftiest guy. And so he says to me, he says, well, you got to get it. We're not going to throw the 7-step drop game out. And I said, just 5-step drop. No, timing. I said, let me tell you something. Okay? To me, 5-step, 7-step, hey, there's no such thing as 7-step. You want your quarterback sack, there's 7-step in a bunch. Okay? You got great offensive tackles, hey, you can take care of it. To me, it's easier to tell the quarterback 5-step and hold the frickin' ball. Okay? And wait till it's over. Because I can protect the 5-step. I can protect the 3-step, but I can't protect the 7-step, especially when they know that shit. Hey, they put out Courtney Brown out there, Penn State, he lines up out there, and I got a left tackle who looks like he's on some kind of a crank to get back here. And then I get Courtney Brown out here who's so fluid, and he's almost like magic watching this guy. And so I'm sitting there going, hey, I can get my crank guy to stop the guy from attacking us on a 5-step, but you can make him keep going for that 7-step. You put a tremendous amount of pressure on him. And I said this in 1978, 79, and I argued with our coach about it. No. So when I got my chance to be an offensive coordinator, we didn't do anything but 5-step drop. We threw the ball deep just as well as anybody, and we threw it, all the intermediate routes as well as anybody, and we threw 5-step drop. You know what I'm watching in pro football now? A shitload of 5-step drop. Hey, they want to slow the quarterback down now? 5-step drop. Take to the fullback. I mean, it's a minor fake. There's no reason to put that kind of pressure on your offensive line. You don't have those kind of tackles, number one. And most of the time, those guys are not that athletic anyway. And you're asking them to block outside skill guys, so don't even get into it. All right. All right. What hurts key protection, all right, or what we call dual read protection, okay? What hurts that? Huh? Yeah, but how do you do it though? Well, how do you hurt him? You're going to bring both guys on the key, right? So this guy's got a key here to there. Okay? Your guard's he's got a dual read. What really hurts it though? Huh?
Bring outside first.
There it is. If they know that's, when I was in Texas A&M, we ran a lot of this. And you know what they did? Every time a passing situation is, they walked up Mike like this, right over the guard, and they didn't have to bring him. He just went, like that, when the ball was snapped, frickin' my guy, froze like that, and there's Stan, boom. So we weren't getting anybody out, and my guard wasn't blocking nobody. And I said, holy Jesus. Well, you know what we got to do? Here's what we got to do. We got to kick the guy back, and he's got to be watching this guy while he's trying to do this. And I go, you know, that's really nice. That's good. I like that theory. I like that thought. But you know, the fact of the matter is here's the other one they do. Gets up there like this, and then he goes like this. He's dropping. Oh, no, I'm not. He gives you that one move. So I'm looking at you right here. And all you do is turn your head like you're going to drop that way. And so I kick out like this, and I see you turn your head, so I turn my shoulders like this, and then you come. Because I know you do what protection? Dual read. I know that you're going to volley that guy out of the bubble. So what I do is I put this guy up right here. I know you do that. And I don't have to put him too close. All I do is like this, and then all of a sudden, right when the ball snaps, I I'm going to take my drop step right here. It's just a delayed blitz. But the whole idea of the delayed blitz is, if he turns to think he's going to go out to get Sam, who is coming, this guy doesn't look like he's coming, then he comes. That's the best thing they can possibly do is the defensive guy wide. I got the guy coming right down the pipe on the court. And the guard is already turned this way, looking outside. So, if they know that that's your protection, you're frickin' screwed. So, that's another type of stunt that they use when they know you can do those things. So what you have to do is have gap scheme in there. You have to have a slide protection in there. Okay? All right? When I say slide, let me just make this clear. When I say slide, I'm saying slide is this. This is what I call slide protection. Slide away from what? Front side backer. He mans up, and your fullback either has a dual read here, or you put your fullback on this guy and your tailback on that guy. You got two backs in. That's what I call slide protection. When I say gap protection, everybody's gapping with the back taking the outside guy. Okay? All right. Okay, let's take a look at this. All right, now I just talked about how they can screw up what? Your dual read protection, and how they can screw up your gap protection out of that look. How about out of this look? Bear. Does Bear cause any problems in the run game? Holy Jesus. That was the whole idea of running that stuff. It cut your run game down to this, and if they knew what you ran, or what you would likely run, you're shit out of luck. Because now what they did is they got in that and they ran stunts to stop the plays that you most likely would try to run. And in the pass game, let me say, pass game here. If I'm going dual read, I've got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or maybe 6 guys at the line of scrimmage. And so, what does that mean? Who's free to help out somebody? No one's free. It's all what? One-on-one, man-on-man blocks. You know whose favor does that work? Now I know you're going to throw the ball. Now look, when I was in Kansas, we played Kansas State one year, and I said, I don't understand it. Every time we throw the ball out of that formation, there is bear defense. I don't, you know, how do they know? How do they know? They sacked us 4 times. We threw 1 interception, all in that formation, you know, a spread formation, and they were bear defense. And I kept going, I can't figure this shit out. And Coach Mason goes, I'll tell you why, because they're freaking smarter coaches than we are. And I said, you know what? Hey, he's right. They must be. Hey, it wasn't like I was just doing this on first down. I was doing it on second down. I mean, it's third down. I was doing it on first down, second down. I did second down and 1. I wanted to take a deep shot out of that formation, and they lined up. I said, it's uncanny. Uncanny. Then I had a guy come in 2 years later, he's saying to me, hey coach, I don't know if you know this, but there's a team in your league that has all your signatures. And I said, you're shit. Nope, we got them all. I said, I don't think so. I said, we kind of have a, we have 2 guys signaling also. Well, they got it. I'm telling you, they got it. And I'm going, is it K-State? He goes, no, I'm not going to tell you. He's like, I can't, because, I'm telling you, it's a league, team in the league. So we play K-State the next year, and I tell Coach Mason, I think they got our signals. We should run the plays. You know what he tells me? You know what? Just because they're smarter than you, you don't have to go change your whole goddamn system. So I said, all right, fine. So they beat us. You know what he says to me after the game? I think they got our signal. That's what he said, I swear to God. So I said, all right. That was in 1996, and we had a hell of a game with them, and we lost. And that made 4 years in a row we lost them. And we had beaten them. We were beating them on a regular basis up to them. So I go, I wonder if they ever knew that. After the season's over, GA comes in and hands me a phone and says, Coach, you don't want to take a look at this. I said, what is it? Just take a look. He says, I've already queued it up. I put it in. You know who it is? It's Tom Osborne. You know where the picture is on Tom Osborne? This much. They've got it on his face for every play. In a game. I don't know what game it was, but he found it on the end of a special teams tape. He was supposed to be charting the special teams tape, and he got on the phone with his girlfriend. And he looked over and went, oh shit, the special teams tape is over. Hey, look, I missed this section, and she's tape. And all of a sudden, here comes Tom Osborne on it, last part of the tape. And it's like 65 plays of Tom Osborne going, right 35, wrong. Hey, I'm going, you gotta be kidding me. These guys are doing this shit? They're actually filming guys talking and signaling. So I go, I can't believe it. Well, anyway, I'm out of coaching. 1997, I'm out. I'm working on an internet business, and guess what happens? Dana Dimmel goes, he's at Wyoming, and our quarterback coach gets hired by Dana Dimmel. He didn't go to Minnesota with me, so he gets hired by Dana Dimmel. And he calls me up and says, Pat, you can't believe this. I said, what is it? Dana said they had every signal. The minute we signaled in, they knew whether it was drop back pass, toss sweep, option, or whatever, and they just basically called their defense 35 option, 35 drop back, 42 dive. They called, and he said, and I said to them, and you know what? What's funny is players used to come, you know how players run off the game and go, they know our plays, they know our plays. I said, shut up, just block it something like this. They knew our frickin' plays. And you know what though? That's how K-State rose. They did all the little things to try to beat you. All the little things. They wanted to find the edge to help their player. Because they knew they couldn't out-recruit Nebraska, or out-recruit Oklahoma, or even out-recruit Kansas at times. But they did know this. They could line their kids up, they could play discipline, and they could play hard. And if they gave them a little bit of an edge, somehow, some way, it would, hey, you know what? They led the freaking country in defense for, I mean, they were in the top 10, I want to say, like 2 years in a row. They were like number 1, and they're in the top 10 like 4 or 5 years in a row. All because they knew what the hell we were doing. So what I'm going to tell you is this. Just because you can mix up protections, there's some son of a bitch out there probably stealing your signals too. And the only way you can avoid that issue is get yourself 2 signal callers, okay, which will help, all right, that'll help. And the other thing is to do like Tom Osborne did. The only thing that they knew that was going in was a formation, because he always told a player what the play was. But what they were trying to do was see if they could get somebody to actually learn how to read his lips. So he would sit there with the binoculars on him all game and go, dive, option, you know, based on reading his lips. So, and so sometimes you don't think that's happened. You better kind of make sure it's not. Because when I was at Texas A&M, Jackie Sherrill asked me, he says, I want the top 20, I want 25 ways to beat the opponent. So I wrote down unbalanced, formations, shifting, motion, mismatch, getting mismatches in personnel, and I'm struggling after about 17, I'm going, oh, tricks, double pass, no, hell, I'll recruit their ass, unpredictable, got to be unpredictable, and I'm getting like 22, 23, I can't think of anything else. I go, shit, I hope that's what he wants, And I said, hey, Jim Helm, I said, how does my list look? And he goes, yeah, you got the same shit I got, same shit. So we handed our shit, we're in the staff meeting, we go, hey, Jack, here it is. So we give it to him. And he goes like this. You guys are freaking unbelievable. Take these back. We're all, what? He goes, that's not what I wanted. And we said, what do you want, Coach? He goes, I'm talking about like turning up the heat in their locker room, screwing their pregame meal, letting the air out of their tires on the bus, like disrupting their day, with, lip readers. Hey, you know what? How about get one of those sound things like CBS got and just put it over at their coordinators, I'm going, holy shit. I mean, I didn't think anybody else would actually think of that. But Bill Snyder actually, he obviously thought about it. And he never turned up the heat in their locker room, but, Hayden Fry, painting the locker room paint. You guys know that, right? Yeah. So, we went in there and players, it's funny, and I think it works that sometimes our disadvantage sometimes, but here's what I want to do right here. I think I want to show you a little film. I want to show you a little film, but here's what I want you to know. 3 things. Okay? All right. About stunt. All right? Stunt defense. On the run game. All right? Man mirror. Okay? Gap. Option. We don't run a lot of options, so we got to do this kind of stuff. All right? Okay. Pass game. 1. Okay? Full gap protection. Know what beats you. Dual read. You don't have to have dual read, but it's all right. Slide. And or whatever your base play action is. All right? Which for us, we like to use these negatives because it's kind of like an actual gap scheme a little bit. So, but if you've got these in there and you're not always using this on first down or this on first down, but you're using a mixture on first down and a mixture on third down, then you're going to be hard to blitz because it's a guessing game now. What you don't want to do is give them the edge. What you don't want to do is give them the edge, okay? And the last thing on all this stunt stuff is you and your line coach know the weakness of the protection. And so if I'm a head coach or I'm a coordinator, and I want to be able to say, hey, I want my players to know the weakness of the protection. I want my players to know the weakness of the run, like the power play. If they run the 7 technique or the 9 technique and they wrong arm them underneath, that hurts that play. Okay, so my guys, I teach my guys, I say, hey, so that they know, hey, coach, they're wrong arming us. Well, they know, hey, all right, it's time to adjust it, take the ball outside, do whatever. But you have to know the weaknesses of your offense and the plays that are in it. All right, now let's do this real quick. Let's take a look at this film, and I've got a film here. Where did I do it? Here it is. No, that's not it. Where's my, there we go. Now, hopefully this one runs. Last night I had problems with it. Let's see here. Can you guys see this well enough here? All right, this right here is going to be some plays versus gap. Okay? This is a gap scheme versus blitz. All right? I call it blue run versus blitz. Blue run is basically our one back stuff. All right? Let's see here. This is an excellent play now. This is an excellent play. And yeah, you probably better come on up here. Whoops. All right, this play is what I call a gap trap. We tackle trap it, and it's one of the best plays we have. Consistent because it handles blitz. It handles blitz, and we like it. Hey, I think you can take every one that we've got out, and we've always made +2, +3 or better. All right. We'll see if we're behind here. Now, see the thing about tackle trap, you got the guard right here who can protect it. See how the gap works there? These guys are all going to gap inside. There you go. And they got, they got full blitz on, and it handles that inside stuff. Everybody's got a gap control, A gap, B gap, the whole way. Okay. And the best thing is you're not pulling the backside guard, which means your backside tackle has to handle the B gap. Now your center and backside guard can handle it. Okay.
Coach, is that an audible at the point?
We have made it an audible. We call it Texas. Like Texas is when he thinks they're going to blitz, and so he'll call this at the line of scrimmage. This is not all of those are. Not all of these are tackle traps. These are all kinds of. Some of them are. Let's see. This is slant 8 and 9. This is what this guy's looping out. This sometimes. Now our guys did not read this, but they made a mistake. And this is one of the things you need to tell your offensive lineman to is to learn how to advance. This tackle right here comes running, or excuse me, guard comes running down here. Let's see if I can. Guard. Watch. See him as a freshman guard. See him? Nice tackle. Hey, he comes through the area. Advance. Don't turn back towards the line of scrimmage. Always advance. He's a freshman guard. Now this is dive 2 and 3. This is a good play versus teams that like to do this stuff too. What you do is it's like a wishbone play. Okay? It's just like a wishbone play. All you're doing is he's going to take B gap, he's going to take A gap, and we're just going to close this thing off in here, and we're going to hand it off. We don't care what takes a C gap out there. We let it go, and it's a quick hitting dive play. Okay? All right. If you want to see that again, I'll show it to you again. All right. Here's against Penn State. Now, they tried to run a guy through. We actually bounced him to the play. He almost makes the play right there. okay? He almost makes the play. Our guard should have cut his outside leg so that we don't have that problem. But sometimes this play is not bad because what we're going to do right here is we're going to man block. The guard, see, the guard's got a hand. See this? Very tough. That's that up defense. The Arizona defense I was telling you about. Let's see if I can stop it. Slow it down. This guy's a great player. This number 11 right here, Harrington. See, this is what they're doing. This is a tight end side. See, there's that stack we're talking. The Arizona defense.
Yeah, how's he make that block?
Okay. That's what I say. We're zoning it at that point. They walk into it late, we're in trouble. But the best thing that happens is, now this is the trap play. This is going to, you'll see this now. This is a play that I like a lot against different stunts and blitzes. Why? Because it is a gap play. And I'm showing it to you again here.
Is it tackle trap?
Yeah, it's a tackle trap. And it's a great play out of the gun. Go like this, quarterback, and just set it in there. Boom, right there. You know, I mean, hey, because you know, you guys can see, you can kind of set it up with a pass protection. Okay. Hey, I want to show you right. Okay, that's my left tackle. Watch this piece. Whoops. Doing pretty quick here. This kid's a great kid right here. But watch him. He does that at least 5 times a game. He just can't quite get over. I mean, it's like, hey, he could be 3 inches off the ground. He misjudges his time all the time. I mean, it's like I asked him one time, can you see? Like, I mean, can you see when a guy falls? Because like he'll run, and the guy will just fall right there. When he goes to lift his foot, it's like the toe catches right on the edge of the guy, and he goes down. You know, I mean, and if you're watching it, you sometimes if you're watching from the sideline, it's like you was hit with one of those dart guns, you know. I ask him all the time, I said, what's going on? Great kid though, busts his ass for me all the time. Okay. This against Notre Dame. Now, hey, it helps to have it back because he's got a little, you know, Cedric is pretty good at this stuff. And we don't block it very good sometimes. You'll notice in here, and we'll take a look here. You know, we're not blocking this as clean as we should. Now we're blocking the 3 technique here. That's a call we have at the line of scrimmage to you know, and sometimes we'll set. Sometimes we'll set and influence this guy outside, and sometimes we'll set and work him there. Poor job of the tackles up the field too far, you know, but we'll trap either the 3 or the 5. Okay, if we got a 3, we'll trap the 3, but we really like trapping the 5 more than we do anything. Okay. So we should have any buttons there to run it back. Okay. Now watch this. Watch the tackle. He's going to take a short step. Now he has to come back in to get the guy. Okay. This is a good play, and it's a good play because it's basically a gap scheme. Here's one. Here's run, and it's run full gap. The tackle blocked it a little bit more like we like blocking it. He's going to set, and he's going to take that guy inside. And the guard, the tackle, and you guys can get, you know, that's why that's important to get perimeter blocks out there. They got to know this ball can break outside something, because that'll happen twice, you know, twice a game if they're running those slants like that. That's a very, very good blitz beater, that particular play. When I write down, hey, the plays I like against this place, that's the first one I write down. First one I write down. Because it handles everything inside. All the guys are just going, boom, take the first thing inside, tackle the block, and first thing he sees. Okay? Now this is a guard trap right here. This is a different play. Guard trap. Isn't it? That was a guard trap. We didn't run a lot of this. We ran it against Illinois because Illinois always ran that. Illinois always ran this like split four defense. Okay, so you know, whenever you have a team that runs more than split four, sometimes it's good because you get these guys up on the back. Another gap scheme play. Gap. So what do we see? We saw trap, tackle trap. All right, now you're going to see a gap scheme play. And obviously the thing that always makes a gap scheme play is that guy, and you see how we influence him with emotion? We influence the guy a little bit with emotion. You'll see it. I like this better when I can kind of run it back slower and all this stuff. This thing goes 100 miles an hour. But these guys are all going to gap, inside gap, and backside linebacker. See how the motion? See now if you run the toss sweep, a little bit of motion there, and he's worried about the hook block and protecting the edge, you can kind of get them thinking about it and then run the power underneath. And it handles a lot of the, and so you can see now we're doing it a little bit different. We had a very average offensive line last year. He's a first-time player, freshman, redshirt sophomore, and JC guy. The only guy that had any playing experience was a center. And actually, they started getting better as the season went on. Early they were horrid. And I grade on everything. I grade all the little footwork steps and all that kind of stuff. Just power against Ohio State. You see Ohio State? They like to blitz some. They blitzed us 61 times out of 83 snaps in this game. Now look what they're going to do with the line. See how they slant everybody? See how easy of adjustment. So everybody just stepped, picked it up. That's the great thing about gap. Watch this. Watch all these guys. That's the greatest thing about gap.
Is that your tight end for the
Yeah. Sometimes it's our tight end. That right there, look at that right there put us ahead 25-24. This is a power off tackle. Again, you see we try to influence that guy with that motion because we're on the toss sweep or the slant play. And he just takes block support, and if you do it a couple of times, and that defensive end all of a sudden thinking, oh, here they come with that slanter. Now all of a sudden he does what? He overplays the outside a little bit and opens it up for the what? For the power. Okay. Now one thing that we don't do a very good job of when we run this power is our guards are not. They're not ferocious. They come in there and they just make the block. I like guys that try to destroy it at the point of contact. Our guys don't do that. Part of the reason is they're young, and they should get better at it. Watch number 4 in this play. Or 24. No, it's number 4. It's number 4. You can see. There's another thing. Now, watch line scrimmage here. Watch these guys. Everybody adjust. Okay. Number 4 here. That's one thing that guy could do, boy. You know, he's not very fast. He's like 4'7". He can make the move, make the miss. See how you get some natural seams in there. You know, they get slant, scrape the backer. Everybody just takes a step and adjusts. You got to practice some of it, but it's still, you know, this against Penn State. You know, we actually ran the ball fairly well sometimes against Penn State. Our problem is that early in the ball game, we got out of sync in the throwing game, threw an interception, got batted twice, but Penn State should be a great team this year. Okay. Watch the tight end. See how he does. See how he just, you know, inside and then go. Hey, you just want, and everyone tell you want the near number of the guy. Take the near number. You know, because sometimes I go too flat, and then the guy goes over the top. Always take the near number. So if I step here, take the near number. Near number goes away, I adjust. So if I'm advancing to a linebacker, near number's coming this way, I'm always working from the near number. And if he's going to beat me, I want him to try to beat me underneath where I got a chance to seal him. And if he tries to go over the top, I should have a hell of a block. Here we are. Now this is just some blitz stuff. See how we get a tight split right here? This is what we want to do is leverage the defense. You know, they blitz this right here. You know, I mean, and that was our hot. The fullback was our hot. We call it a scat. And the fullback's a hot. Fullback's a hot. See what happens when you compress the formation down with a tight split. It's very easy for them to lose the fullback as opposed to a wide split, and they can see them come out quicker. They can feel it better. When it's all compressed in there and everybody's attacking right in there, you know, that's part of the theory of, the West Coast offense was to tighten down the formations and expand them on the snap. You know, this is the stuff that that I like doing. Why? Because as a line coach, I very rarely have a mistake on the negative. Everybody just runs and gap, and you know, they blitz and try to get some guy through. See, he's lost right there. Well, that's good enough. That gives you guys an idea. I hope that was, you know, that you guys got a few things you might take. But the biggest thing I can tell you is this: try to prepare as much as you can before you face a team next year. In other words, write down the things that you think you got to use to win, use to beat them now, and then kind of examine them through the summer. And then what happens is when you get ready to play, you go, you run this and this and this. You go out, you practice it, and you win the game. And they're doing all that shit, but your players know what? They knew the game plan going in, you knew the game plan going in, and you're able to execute it. Too often times you're not quite prepared, you're scrambling because you know they do all this stuff in the summer, you know what kind of defense they are, but you kind of put it off like we sometimes all do, put it off and wait. And the more you can figure out the philosophy of what they're trying to do. Like if you're looking at the Desert Storm defense, we saw Penn State run a little bit. The idea is all of a sudden we know that Haynes got contained, so we weren't worried about them coming down and getting us, so we just let them go. So we understood the philosophy. So you can figure those things out, and I think that'll really help you. And I really appreciate you guys hanging in here with me. And I hope that was informative for you. Okay, thanks. All right.